Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today I am here to introduce our make-along for March 2025. I cannot believe we have already gone 2 months into our year of make-alongs here. This has been so exciting. There have been so many projects getting done, and I love seeing how excited everyone is and working on these things, whether they finish them or not, just getting them started or picking them back up again or actually going through and seeing what they have done. So I am very, very excited for March 2025 now. So this month, our entire goal is projects that you have been sitting on. So the little write-up that I did for this was along the same lines of spring cleaning. We will focus on at least one project that we can have kitted up and had in mind or bought and been afraid to start. We all have something like this in our craft room or at some part taking up space in our rooms. Let's break it out and have fun with it. So the entire point, purpose, goal here isn't necessarily to finish the project. The goal here is to start the project. I know a lot of us have purchased yarn at some point in time where I want to make a sweater, and we sit on that yarn, and we just don't start the project because we're afraid, what if we mess up? Or we're afraid, I'm not going to get it done in time. We're afraid, whatever it is. Whatever reason we're giving ourselves, whatever excuses some of us may be making to ourselves, we just don't start that project. Now, over the years, I have purchased a number of kits. If you were here during my reorg of the yarn wall, you remember one of my goals for the end of 2024 was to get my kits that I had purchased out on the yarn wall. So I did manage to hit that goal. I used enough yarn to where I was able to get these kits out in the open so I could see them and would think to pull from them or work from them. So I actually have pulled 2 different projects for myself to do this month. One is one of those purchased kits that I had purchased. And there are a number of reasons why I haven't made this. These are the Crocodile Stitch booties. This was a blueprint kit. It's got 3 skeins of Vanna's Choice back here in the color Fern. So one of the reasons why I have not worked on this is as you can see, there is a lot of surface texture on the booty itself, along with the crocodile stitch, which just takes forever. I love how crocodile stitch works. I have never in a finished project been like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I love how it looks. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, but it's one of those stitches, while worth the effort, it takes a lot of effort to do. It is a lot of time, a lot of yarn, and a lot of patience to do the crocodile stitch. And not only that, we obviously have a whole bunch of post stitches, as well as I'm not sure how this increasing is done here and the transition from the sole to the upper on these booties. So there are a number of reasons why I've just kind of held off on this pattern. This pattern is by this person. By this person. And this was just a purchase kit. I liked the way they looked. It was on sale because I think I bought this as part of when Blueprint was going out of business before they had been purchased by the Kentucky publishing company and brought Craftsy back. Is Craftsy tutorials and informational videos. Anyway, it was a whole convoluted thing. But yeah, so I've been sitting on this for a very long time. This kit may have gone to Charlotte with me, so this may also be considered what I'm considering this year as deep stash. Anything that predates my move to Charlotte, anything I took from Columbia to Charlotte and then brought back to Columbia with me, all of that I'm calling deep stash. So this may actually even qualify for the goal of using deep stash this year or looking at my deep stash this year. the transition of blueprint back to craftsy took place over the course of like finding out we would probably be moving, getting the house ready to sell, and then moving. So very well, this could have been purchased like right before I moved or in that like 6 months before. So I'm going to probably call this Deep Stash. I don't think Lion Brand has a date on their yarn, so I can't like look at the yarn. The pattern was published in 2012, but that doesn't mean anything for the kit. Anyway, some of you guys with a keen eye may notice that this cube here looks a little emptier than usual. So this is all Lion Brand Heartland. I have 3.5 balls of a black color. It's something Canyon, I believe. And then this one is Isle Royale. And all of this is Isle Royale. I bought a half case of this to make 2 projects. I had 2 things in mind I wanted to do. One is a giant granny Ruana shawl. So it's made up of 3 different granny squares. I actually have an inspiration for this project, but I am doing a different granny square for it. So I saw this thing and was like, no, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it this way. So I am using the Glorious Granny from Fiber Spider. And I can't remember what Creative Grandma's name for that same square is, but I am enlarging that into a 25 to 28 inch granny square. Make 3 of them, sew them together, and I will have my Ruana wrap. So that is project number 1 with this yarn that I bought this yarn for. I've always intended that project to be used with this yarn. The other one is a sweater. I have everything for my Ruana already downstairs. So as you can tell, I still have plenty for a sweater. I did take the black downstairs because I have a sweater pattern I am considering. And for that one, I would use the black yarn as well. So if at some point in the month of March, I decide to cast on another sweater, that may very well be what happens. Is we'll end up having 3 projects that I start. But again, the goal here is not to finish these projects necessarily. If we do, great. That's wonderful. That's stuff we're moving out of our stash. That's projects we're getting made. It's once again another way to treat ourselves, because most of these projects are things that we want to treat ourselves with. They weren't, frivolous purchases at the time we pulled these kits together or bought the yarn with a plan in mind for these. So it's the goal is not to necessarily finish these projects. The goal is to get them started and make a significant amount of progress in them to where we're going to continue working on them in April and May and June. And by the end of the year, the goal would be to hopefully have these projects done, but it's not to have it done by the end of the month. So if you have like a big blanket kit that you've been planning on, or a project that you've been hoping to make with some certain yarns and things like that you've been holding on to, and you have a pattern where you have the supplies for it, but you just haven't started it, now would be a great time to start and get those creative juices going. Once again, let's treat ourselves with our crafts. These are supposed to be fun and exciting for us, not just the drudgery of cranking out gifts or cranking out things that we're making for craft shows or whatever other pressures we put on ourselves. These are supposed to be fun times for us. So I hope that you will participate with me in the month of March in making, or at least starting, the projects that we have kitted up in our stash and have been holding on to and waiting for that special time to start. So I hope you guys will take this opportunity to be that special time and play along. I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye, guys.